Alright YouTube, so it's been a while since we talked about something that's not related to Bethesda Fallout or Final Fantasy VII Remake, but sometimes you see something and you gotta talk about it. Plus I do miss doing these kind of like random news discussion videos or whatever the case, but what we have today, and I'm sure you've seen it by now, it's a couple days old at this point, is Google Stadia trying to sell this console, trying to use the marketing of a gender-neutral controller. And I didn't believe this when I first seen the headlines, because how could I? There's all kinds of satirical websites out there, but it turns out this is actually legit. This has to be one of the most desperate, most absurd things I've ever heard to try to promote selling your console. What does this mean? I've never heard of a controller being masculine or feminine or anything like that. It's a fucking controller. In the lead up to the launch of Google's new Stadia console, members of the Stadia team promoted the gender-neutral quality of the system's controller as a selling point for the flagship hardware. In an interview with CNN Business, Google VP and head of Stadia, Phil Harrison, boasted that the Stadia controller's design was different from some of our historical competitors in the console space who have been a bit more masculine and a bit more mechanical in their approach. And that's the part that kind of confuses me, because outside of the features that are specific to the Stadia itself, the controller design is nothing unique. I mean, it legitimately looks like an Xbox One controller with the bulkiness. It even has A, B, X, Y on it. But the button placement is more like a PS4 controller, where you have the D-pad on the left and the two analog sticks in the middle. It has a left bumper, left trigger, right bumper, right trigger. It even has a button in between the analog sticks, just like the PlayStation 4 controller. So again, I don't even know what they're doing here design-wise that's even remotely groundbreaking. It looks like a mixture of both of those controllers, actually. There's nothing unique here at all. I don't understand. What are you doing, Google? They claim that their past competitors had more masculine, more mechanical-looking controllers. It looks the exact same as both of those. It's a weird shot to take it like Xbox and PlayStation, or it's a weird ground to stand on to claim that we have gender-neutral controllers. What about this makes it gender-neutral? I don't understand. We've talked a lot in the past about forced inclusivity in movies, games, whatever, right? When they force in a LGBT character into something, we talked a lot about that. And I've said in the past, I'll say it again, I don't care about this stuff, right? I don't care that there are gay characters in movies, video games, any type of media. It does not matter. When it's forced in there for, free PR for their game, that's when it's an issue for me. Apex Legends, for example, we did a video on that a while back, right? The game was, I don't even know if it's out yet. Maybe it was out just a couple of days, and they're already talking about one of the characters being gay. I think it was Gibraltar, the big, Samoan guy or something like that. I don't remember who it was. Regardless, one of the characters was gay, and it's why does it matter? There's no reason he has to be gay. And I'm not saying you need to give me a reason for him to be gay. It's a fucking battle royale game. I don't give a shit about any of the characters' sexuality. Same for Overwatch, right? I don't give a shit about the underlying story of Overwatch. It does not matter their sexuality. It does not change what's happening in the fucking game. And every time I say that, there's somebody in the comments that's well, if it doesn't matter, then why are you getting upset? I'm not getting upset because the character is gay. I'm getting upset by their marketing strategy. They're literally making the character bisexual, gay, gender neutral, whatever the case, to market to the people that give a shit about that. Like I said earlier, it's free PR for that game, that movie, whatever it might be, because you're going to have that section of the LGBT community that's oh my god, we're included in this thing, let's go watch it, let's go buy this product. That's literally the only reason they're doing it. And I guess that's what they're trying to do here with this controller for the Stadia. It's gender neutral. It's for big hands and small hands, men and women. It's that's never been a complaint, except for maybe the original Xbox controller. And the Joy-Cons being too small for certain people, but outside of these two very specific situations, nobody really complains about the size of the controllers. They're pretty good for pretty much everybody, which now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, technically all the controllers throughout time have been gender neutral. Which means that they actually don't have a leg to stand on at all, because men and women play on Xbox, PlayStation, pretty much every other platform just fine. The other aspect of this controller being gender neutral is the color, the green wasabi color. I can't tell, the controller looks like it's a slight off-white color. I can't tell if there's an actual difference or not from the regular controller we looked at earlier, but you see the green under the joysticks, and as this article points out, it's kind of condescending to claim that this is gender neutral when you've been able to buy different color controllers forever, since the PlayStation 1 N64 era. So them claiming that the color of the controller is gender neutral as well just doesn't make a lot of sense, because you've been able to buy different color controllers for a very, very long time. Again, nothing groundbreaking, so what is the point of this marketing at all? The controller design isn't unique, and neither is the color. And even with this absurd attempt at marketing, the console's flopped anyway. It's been a disastrous launch from what I've heard. I haven't totally kept up with it because I have no interest in the Stadia. I made one video on it in the past when it first got announced, but I haven't been keeping up with everything, but all I've seen is bad shit about the launch of this thing. Anyways, my dudes, that's pretty much the video. I'll pass it off to you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Would a gender-neutral controller sell an entire console to you? I gotta admit, I kind of talked myself into it now. I think I need to buy me one. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. One step update with, well, not really Google Stadia stuff, because I don't know how often I would make a video about this shit. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid. And my Discord links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me a smile, give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a child.